Okay, so hello everyone. Today we are discuss about our first paper presentation, African literature, and I want to present culture as a theme in post-colonial theater, a comparative study of Paul Soyinka and Girish Karnad. Okay, so first one is table of content. So here we see that modern European colonization, then setting the stage, then search for the roots. Fourth one is lesson from the past, and then work cited. Okay, so first modern European colonization. Nation exists in a dream of the ruler and memories of the subject. Colonizer has always been a part of human history. Right from the second century onward, leading colonial power like the Roman Empire, Ottoman Empire, and Aztec Empire had vast region of the globe under their control. So question is that, but what differentiated the modern European colonization from the earlier ones was? So Anya Lumba gave an argument that it restructured the economics of the latter, drawing them into a complex relationship with their own. So that there was a flow of human and natural resources between colonized and colonial countries, and that's why no colonial domination is complete unless memories of the invaded land are erased or replaced by a new entity. So indeed the exploration of political authority by European nation and then supremacy of Asia and Africa took on a new meaning, despite the previous migration and invasions as these developments in the 18th and 19th centuries. Then this makes 20th century colonization more culturally penetrative than merely innocent colonization, more monetary gain. As a result, European colonization become an affirmation of psychological supremacy. So Nandi give one argument that this colonizes mind in addition to bodies, and it release forces within colonized society to alter their culture priorities once and for all. So in the process it's helped to generalize the concept of the modern west from a geographical and temporal entity to a psychological category. The post-colonial playwright make a deliberate attempt to dislocate the centrally attributed to the English, one of the most visible signs of cultural domination. Now move forward, setting the stage. So Girish Karnad focused more on the impact of the colonial rule and an individual. Then Soyinka took his theatre to the streets. Then Girish Karnad worked in artistic expression, as is the fire and the rain, on sexuality and in Nagamandala or Haryavadan. Then Soyinka worked on the control imposed on the society as a single unit. So both the playwright remained connected by the common element. They were firmly rooted in the history of their respective land and could communicate to an international audience by raising their art to the realm of universal understanding. Soinka and Karnad portray their character who are exposed to the colonizer's culture as better equipped to handle the present situation rather than those who often blindly adhere to their own tradition. Search for roots. So the desire for self representation or a self respect and to create an identity to one's own marks out of a decolonizing process, and this is common trend throughout the world. The need was for root origin founding myths and national for mother and father in a sought for a restorative history. This argument is given by Boehmer. So, in that, the post-colonial writer tries to overshadow to borrowed influence of Europe by tapping the rich storehouse of native culture. In this context, they being Indian and African, by making use of local symbols, they champion tradition, thereby creating a sense of national togetherness from within. So, cultural thus becomes the main trend. So here one example of Girish Karnad's play, that in The Fire and the Rain, Karnad makes a brilliant use of two complementary myths from Mahabharata dealing with the issue of fratricide. The myth of Yavaki and the Indra myth. The myth of Yavaki, on which the play is based, appear in the Vana Parva of the Mahabharata as a tale narrated by the ascetic Lamsa to Pandavas. So here Girish Karnad uses a fire as a prominent metaphor in the play. In the original work, the makes a deliberate use of Agni for a fire which has heavy Sanskrit feeling to it against male, which is the common and simple way to depict the rain. By doing so, he sets the premise that the play places two different cultures based on caste difference against each other in conflict, while fire is used all through the play as a tool employed by the priest to dominate over the society, and rain appears as the answer for which entire population is a craving for. Then in African literature, Wole Soyinka also makes such a critical intervention in his national history using his arts. So he judiciously blends history and myth to create the post-colonial idiom of revisiting the past with a modern perspective. The play Death and the King's Horseman is an excellent sample of the attempt. The play is based on a real event that happened in Nigeria in 1945, and one critic, Jeffio, said about that the play holds in itself a metaphysical which is not that of the mythical unity of Africa, constructed primarily out of Yoruba myths. Rather, it's a private metaphysic of an authentic selfhood as it struggled with the demands of an African writer to speak for and on behalf of Africa and its collective worth and destiny. Then fourth one is lesson from the past. So history never follows a linear stream of narrative. It is made more complicated as varied intervention happen during recording of history, especially where a colonized power come to play. The native history record by the dominating power is often rewritten or reinterpreted in the light of new sights and memories of the past. So both these playwrights create character who are this argument is given by Boehmer. He said that portrayed not as the passive onlooker and victims of European action, but as a subject of their own history, fighting among themselves, plotting, making mistakes, falling or succeeding, whether the period in question was pre-colonial or, as was more often to case, the time of encounter, historical retrieval thus represented a way of making reparation. So in this Girish Karnad's one play Tughlaq. Tughlaq deals with the life and fall of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the most brilliant yet the most unsuccessful sultan who ruled Delhi in the 14th century. The play throws light to parable reflection in contemporary post-colonial Indian reality where the secularist ideology of the nation is overshadowed by the communal politics. So, which has become all the more destructive with every passing ever. Even the efforts of the nationalist headers like Nehru and Gandhi could not await the partition and the establishment of a Muslim nation in the Indian subcontinent. So in Tughlaq, as a in a Tal Danda, sorry, Kannada highlight the historical reality that the nation incompatibility of religion and successive tension has its root to the pre-content past. So, just as a Karnad does, Soinka to employ a history as a tool to clinically deselect the sense of euphoria generated by the newfound political freedom for colonial rule. Both the playwright approach this new freedom with a perspective different from the mass psychology and expound through their plays that the political freedom should be viewed with an insight into pre-colonial past, which too is region with a history of oppression and discrimination. The play A Dance of the Forest was written in 1960 by Wol Soyinka as part of a celebration going independence from a colonial domination. Quite in tune with the observation of colonial legacy, Soenka draws extensively from the native myth and directly links the pre-contact African society with its post-colonial reality. So Soenka, by striking a parallel between the past and the present happening, brings out the cyclic notion of history with radical break between two in the private and social political sphere life. So now let's sum up. After concluding, we analyze that the impact of colonialism on different nations with specific reference to work by Wol Soyinka and Girish Karnad and their continuing engagement with the post-colonial projects to counter the legacy of colonialism as Soenka and Karnad highlight through their works. Issue of political suppression and corruption of value do not end with the colonial era. So here we see that while Soenka puts up on a instantly political stand against the white domination, then Karnad attempts to assimilate the lesson of colonialism to his contemporary Redis subtly. Work cited.
Yes, questions?
Yes, Priti. What culture played a role in a whole Soyinka's development as a writer?
Uh, as we see that the whole Soinka is from Africa and Yoruba culture and Christian culture. That culture played a role in writing a political voice.
Yes, Priti. My question to you: what element did Girish Karnad use to portray contemporary issue in play?
Mostly when we found Karnad's play and playwright, so we found that mythological and historical elements in the Karnad's play tackle contemporary themes as his work.